stay a while and listen.
My social skills are wearing off, my phobias are at a loss. Don't call me crazy, that's how they made me. My education's wearing off, my generation's getting soft. Brain sick and so bored, that's what you're built for. The fever might put you in a trance, but the pills will make you dance. Sorry, I probably blew everyone's eardrums out with that one. That's a song by Shinedown, new song, Dance Kid Dance. That song really resonates with me for reasons I'm about to talk about. So this is the second video I'm doing of this like in-person vlog style recording from my phone on the car mount while I'm working out here delivering papers. Everyone who doesn't know, that's my day job, night job, whatever you want to call it. I deliver papers for a living, which a lot of people, when I tell them that, they're either like, that's a job, or like, people still get newspapers. Yep, they do. It's funny. Not the job I thought I'd be doing at this point in my life. I'll be turning 40 in less than 2 months. And that's kind of part of where this little vlog topic is going to go. I want to talk about anxiety and depression. I went most of my life not knowing I had anxiety issues. I realized looking back that I had a lot of undiagnosed anxiety issues throughout my entire life. When I realized that that's what it was, looking back on my like early work life working in the pizza place. That was my first job. I worked for Rilio's. I worked as a busboy, and then eventually I moved up into the kitchen. And I realized my anxiety trigger looking back was being rushed or feeling overwhelmed. And my body's reaction back then would just be to like flip out. I would like spaz. Like anytime I would feel completely overwhelmed. And it was an issue for me back then. I did eventually work past that, but I think part of the problem of not knowing that it was anxiety is a big part of why it was hard for me to work past that. So I've always had that kind of anxiety in my life. And like I said, I didn't realize this until probably about COVID times, that was anxiety, and I've been dealing with that since probably my whole life. I mean, probably even into my childhood. Some of the issues I had when I was in elementary, I had to see a school therapist because of certain issues that I had. And so anxiety, I guess, has always been a part of my life. But I feel like it got a lot worse during COVID. And that was part of what caused me to end up quitting my day job of 10 years at the time when I was working for Schwann's doing DSD delivery for grocery stores. I was doing that full time for over 10 years. And I finally had enough. COVID was the final straw, working in conditions that changed everything during that solid year. I quit in May of 21. It was a combination of a lot of things with the company and COVID, and it was the straw that broke the camel's back for me. And I had been doing newspapers off and on since 2014 as extra income. You know, my wife was in and out of work when we were having our kids, and money got tight, and I picked up a newspaper route as a second job to help make money to get by. And there were some times that I was working myself 70, 80 hours a week. And it was fine in the beginning, but little by little, it just started killing me. There were times that I was falling asleep in my car in a store parking lot before going in because I was so exhausted. So in May of 21, I made the decision to quit that full-time job, take a pay cut. I had quit the paper route in February of 21 because we didn't need the extra income at that point. My wife was working full-time again, and I was able to stop working myself 70 plus hours a week. But after 3 months, I decided I can't keep doing this job in retail. And I picked up 2 paper routes. I went back to the manager that I've been working for, and there was an available opening. It's these 2 routes that I do right now. Oh, I just threw the wrong paper. Hold on. I've been making a couple mistakes like that today. My mind is not in the game. And it's not because I'm recording and talking. It's just, again, anxiety and depression. We're going to get more into that. But I started doing this full time, which I say full time. Realistically, I believe I've never actually sat down and calculated the hours, but I don't believe I work 40 hours. It's probably around 35-ish hours a week that I do this. The rough part is it's 7 days a week. I don't ever get days off. We talked about this last time. I'm not going to go into too much more detail on that. But that's kind of where depression falls into this. I'm about to turn 40 years old, and I look back, what have I done with my life? I've worked in a pizza place for 3 years between high school and college. I was trying to go to college, couldn't afford it after 2 years, and ended up just getting a full-time job in retail. Mainly because I was making almost as much money doing that as I would have started off in what I was trying to go for in college. I was trying to go for computer repair, networking, IT. And median starting salary in that field was only $39,000 at the time, and it was an extremely oversaturated field. And it was just going to cost me so much money to not only continue going to college, and I didn't take the right classes in the first 2 years to even get my associates, so that kind of burned me as well. Rather than, I went to a crappy community college, and the counselors there really weren't trying to direct you properly. I was literally just taking whatever classes I wanted to, and it wasn't the right classes I needed to get an associate's. I don't know if that would have bettered my situation at this point in my life if I had that piece of paper or not, but the other part of the problem with continuing is not only the paying for the college credits and the books and everything, was all the classes I was trying to take, you had to pay for certifications. You had to pay for the opportunity to take the test to try to pass it to get the certifications. And the Cisco networking one was like a $500 test that you had to do twice. It was like 2-part. They were quite expensive. The A+ certification, while not super expensive like that, was still pricey for me at the time. I was working at a pizza place making $6.75 an hour when I left there. Like, I started off working in that pizza place in 2002 making $5.25 an hour. Minimum wage back then was wild. This is in Illinois. I left there I was making $6.75 when I left, and I went to go work at Meijer, making $6.60 an hour, but I was getting 40 plus hours a week. Pay has definitely changed. That's one thing that's changed over the last 20 years. Pay. For the most part, it's gone up, but, well, minimum wage here in Indiana is only $7.25, but realistically, nobody pays that because nobody would even work for that. But I'm tangenting at this point. That's what a lot of these, if I keep doing videos like these, I don't know if I will. The last one didn't do too well, but honestly, I'm not chasing video analytics with these. Just kind of a talking head video to get you guys a peek behind the curtain. Where was I going with that? I completely lost my train of thought on that. But I'm doing this full time, and anxiety and depression. The very beginning when I was talking about that song from Shinedown, it really resonates with me. I think it touches on both anxiety and depression. And then I want to reference a podcast that I listen to. If you guys, I'm sure some of you probably know the guys from VLDL, Viva La Dirt League. They're a YouTube channel. They do amazing comedy skits, Epic NPC Man, the board series where they are like working in a computer tech store. Surprisingly, I first discovered them on Facebook when they were posting PUBG logic videos. I used to like following people playing PUBG like way back in, this was probably like 2015, 2016 or something. Before I even was watching stuff on YouTube, I was following creators on Twitch playing this game, and I found their videos and they were awesome. The guys are top notch. Their content is amazing. They do a podcast, and they don't post the podcast on YouTube anymore because they started their own like premium membership website, and they post the video podcasts over there, but they still do the audio podcasts on I listen to them on Apple Podcasts because I have an iPhone. I think that I know they post them on Spotify as well. I'm going to grab links for that and put them in the description for this. And the most recent one they did was talking about, I think the title of the video was "Anxiety is My Superpower." And I find that that's probably going to be a podcast that I'm going to go back to and listen to regularly, that episode. It really resonates with me. I'm going to keep using that word resonate. I don't know if it's the right word to use in this situation, but it hits all the right buttons for me. Especially, so two of the guys in VLDL deal with this on the regular, Alan and Adam. And I think listening to Adam's story on both of those it's like me down to a T. Everything he experiences is what I experience. And he says it's kind of funny because anxiety and depression are almost like opposites. And yesterday was one of those days where I felt like those two were duking it out inside of me. And I didn't know if I was anxious or depressed. I got nothing accomplished yesterday. When I get hit with one or the other, it just shuts down all my motivation to want to try to do anything. I look back at my life and go, what am I doing with my life? I'm going to be 40 years old and I'm delivering newspapers for a living. I have no career to speak of. If this job, we had worries because the company I worked for they dealt with a cyber hack, and it was a big ransomware attack. And we had moments we were worried if we were even going to get a paycheck. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, if I lose this job tomorrow, what am I going to do? Like, the only other thing I've done in my working career is, in my early days working in a pizza place and working retail. And I went to do this because I don't want to do retail. I'm done. I'm fed up with retail. And that's literally the only skill I have to even fall back on. And would I be able to find a job? Would I make enough money? And then part of the problem is I do this on overnights because my wife works during the day. And this is what works best for our working schedule and kids. Everyone, I live in Northwest Indiana, and everyone's response here is, just go get a job at the mill. It's so easy. The mills are always hiring. You don't need any skill. You can get hired $30 an hour to push a broom. Every time I hear that crap, it just irritates me. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense to me. Like, I know nothing about that field and any of that. Like, even if they take you in with no experience and they train you, like, I don't know a thing about any of that. Like, how can you just tell me, just go apply here, it's so easy? It just blows my mind. That, and some people work in some of those areas, and they'll be like, you could just apply. And then I explain, but the problem is I need to be home in the mornings because I have to get the kids off to school. And they'll be like, they don't care about that. They won't work around any schedules. You get whatever hours you get. Like, there's the problem. So, dealing with the feeling of what am I doing with my life, a lot of times that will hit me with bouts of depression. Yesterday, I was laying in bed and I had a phone call. Backstory on the phone call. You guys ever order food or whatever it may be, shopping, whatever, and you get one of those, hey, customer survey, would you like to fill this out? Thank you for your purchase. And most of the time, we don't fill those out. Nobody fills those out. Well, I filled one out the other day because we ordered Firehouse subs. And we love Firehouse subs. Their food is amazing. We'll usually try to get them once every week or two. And they're within a couple miles of me, so I'll order it on the app and I'll go pick it up. And they messed up my wife's sandwich. She got the simplest thing. She got a turkey bacon ranch sandwich. It's just one of their pre-built specialty. This isn't a custom or anything. It's just one of their pre-built sandwiches. And no bacon on it. I'm like, well, that's kind of crappy. That's like half of the ingredients of the sandwich. And then we always request an extra pickle slice. It's in the extras section. It's not an extra cost. It's just a quick checkbox toggle because the kids don't like any of the veggies on their sandwiches. So I take off the lettuce, the tomato, the onions, and I'll add usually, sometimes I'll add chopped cucumbers, and I'll add an extra pickle slice. And I figure I'm taking off all these other veggies. The least you can do is give me the extra pickle slice. They never do. I think I've gotten it one time. So since I was already filling out this survey to complain about my wife's sandwich not having bacon, and I wasn't about to go drive back there and complain, I was already home. So I got a phone call from them yesterday, and I wasn't expecting that at all. And here's a sign that maybe you deal with anxiety in your life. You ever get a phone call and you don't know who it's from, or it's something like that, and your heart starts racing and then you don't answer the call? That's me. That's anxiety. I've definitely turned into one of these people over the years. I never used to be like that. We're like, just text me. If you guys, it's one of those, if I get a phone call from somebody, your immediate reaction is, what's wrong? What happened? Did somebody die? Like, because I'd much rather get a text message. And I never ended up answering the phone call. It was if I had to guess, it was probably the store manager of that store calling to find out what happened, because I gave them a less than stellar review. Hold on one second. I may try to edit this down to cut out these moments that I have to get out of the car, but I am going to have to wrap this up pretty quickly here because I have a bunch of stuff I have to get out of the car for in the next sections. But yeah, I didn't answer that phone call yesterday. That was anxiety hitting me hard. And then I definitely felt bouts of depression yesterday where I just couldn't get motivated to do anything. So, trying to do content and live streams, I will get hit with anxiety when I'm trying to plan a live stream. This last live stream I did the other day, what was it, Saturday? The thumbnail for that, so Saturday, that was March 15th. I made the thumbnail for that live stream on like February 18th. It was almost a month earlier I had planned to do that live stream. And I never did it. I get hit with anxiety when it comes time for me to decide, hey, I'm gonna live stream. And it's really rough. And there's moments where I get hit with that anxiety and then I don't go through with doing the live stream. Sometimes I just have to like force myself to hit the schedule stream button and hit the publish and get it scheduled to force myself to actually go through with the live stream. It doesn't make sense. And that's kind of what the guys in VLDL on their podcast they talk about is, and I never realized this until listening to their podcast, there are two different types. And I think it falls into depression as well, but they were referring to anxiety. There is situational and there is general. Situational is where a specific thing will trigger it and it's rational and it kind of makes sense. And then there's general, where it'll just trigger out of nowhere and there's no real reason for it. And I feel like the phone call, I would consider that what did I say? There's general and there's situational. I would consider that situational. Like, the trigger was getting the phone call that caused my heart rate to speed up. And when it comes to trying to set up a live stream, I feel like that's more general. Like, you could say that's situational because it's me wanting to set up a live stream that's triggering it, but I don't think so. I think it's more general because it's not rational in my mind for that to cause me to trigger like an anxiety attack. I don't want to say anxiety attack because I don't think my anxiety ever gets that bad that I start having a panic attack. But it does get to the point where I don't end up going through with it and doing it. I'm probably going to have to cut this into two parts here because I have to get out of the car for a bit. So another trigger for my depression is me dealing with, and my inability to deal with, weight gain that I've put on over the years. I've been struggling with my weight, and I find myself trying everything I can to lose weight and just feeling like nothing works. Try to find as much time as I can to exercise, and unfortunately that is never enough. And when I was at the doctor last with a couple health concerns I had, it's like, oh, you just need to exercise more. Like, they don't even listen to you. It's like, I'm trying, like, nothing's working. Like, you just need to exercise more. Like, gee, thanks, you're a huge help. This is what I pay all this money for, thanks. I've tried changing my diet. I've tried watching how much I eat. I've tried, I cut out like almost all sugary drinks. I don't drink pop anymore. I drink almost nothing but water during the day, and usually I'll have like 1 cup of coffee. I mostly cut out energy drinks. I do have one every once in a while, but for the most part I've cut those out of my diet. I went to the gas station, I bought one of these Arizona teas, which I know these have way more sugar than they should, but this seemed better than buying a canned coffee this morning, so I'm drinking that throughout the day. I always have water with me. No matter where I go, I always have water. In the car, at home, I just religiously drink water. Nothing works. I'm trying, the weather's starting to get a little bit nicer, so I'm trying to take the dog for walks. I'm trying to find time to use the elliptical at home. Like, just, I'm horribly out of shape. I can't even just say out of shape. I am horribly out of shape. I will get winded going up and down the stairs a couple times. Nothing seems to work for me. And doctors are useless. They don't listen to you. So that's another trigger for my depression. It's just, I really need to figure out a way to shake off this weight. Get down to a level where I feel comfortable with myself again. And where I feel like I can do physical activities and not be winded after 30 seconds. I've never smoked a day in my life. I occasionally drink, but not that much. Like, if I have like 1 beer. Like, I'm not a heavy drinker or anything. I don't smoke. I've never touched nicotine in my life. Never smoked a cigarette, never vaped. Like, I try to do everything I can to take care of my health, and it's just depressing when it's not good enough. Like, I don't know if anyone else can relate to this. When I'm going on 40 and I feel like I'm in worse shape than both my parents who are going on 58 and 60. It's rough. So that's another trigger for depression for me. But that's where I said that where the guys in VLDL talked about general and situational depression or anxiety, and I kind of I relate that to depression as well. So those are my situational depressions. But then there's times that I just have general depression. I just get hit out of nowhere and there's no rhyme or reason for it. And it just kind of shuts me down. And for the rest of the day, I'm just stuck in that. And Adam from VLDL really, something that worked for him is just kind of, I don't want to say surrendering to it, but just having you, how did he put it exactly? Coming to terms with it and going to yourself, like, I understand that this is happening. I'm going to surrender to it today. You win. But tomorrow I'm taking the reins back. And I'm really trying to do that. Like, it took me yesterday, and I was like, you win. I'm not gonna, I can't fight this, but tomorrow I need to take it back. And I'm gonna try that today, try to take the reins back. So to tie this all in to everything, and trying to do content creation and trying to do regular, I keep saying that I want to get back to regular live streams, but when I'm getting my butt kicked by anxiety and depression and I just don't know. I see so many creators who put schedules together, either static schedules that are always the same, or they'll put a schedule out week by week that revolves around their work schedule. And it's just, at the beginning of the week, they'll post a schedule. Here's my days for the next week. And I envy those creators because I can't do that. I've tried so hard and I just can't. Just trying to even plan a stream a few hours ahead of time just feels like impossible for me. So I keep telling myself I want to get back to a regular routine or a schedule, and I don't know when I'll be able to actually do that. And that's not fair to a lot of the people that like watching me. I don't think I'm anything special either. Like, I don't think that I would love to eventually get content to a point where I'm earning income on it. And maybe it gets me to a point where I could do half of the job that I'm doing now. Maybe I get to a point where this can supplement all of my income. I don't see that happening anytime soon. So many creators have to go 5 to 10 years before they're making any real income off of content creation and or streaming. Some people start doing this as a full-time job after a few months. There's a creator I just recently started following, and he's only been streaming for like 5 months, and this is his full-time job. And my mind is blown when I see, like, how? Like, how do you just hit 1,000 followers on Twitch, and you're doing this for 5 months, and this is your full-time job now, and you're streaming for 5-6 hours a day, 5 days a week? Like, how? Like, I'm envious of creators like that. Like, how do you pull that off? I don't know. I don't see myself getting to that stage anytime soon. If I could just get YouTube up to 500 and get it to the first tier by the end of this year, I would be happy. We are very, very slowly trickling on YouTube's subscribers, and I absolutely want to thank each and every one of you that have subscribed to my channel, because I wouldn't be able to keep doing this without you. If I wasn't growing at all, I would be really disincentivized to continue even trying. But we are slowly growing. My videos do get some views when I post them, so I like to try to keep that up. Just some days it's just really hard. I've opened Minecraft a few times in the last week and have not been able to actually do anything of any real significance. My issue, and I think this falls into my anxiety, is once I pull the trigger and I actually start doing it, via start streaming, or okay, I'm recording now. Once I start doing it, I'm good and I can do it. And the same thing with video editing. Once I start the video editing process, I can knock it out and I can get like hyper focused on it and do it. The problem is starting it. And I think that is a lot of my anxiety. So this is the main reason why content is slow. It's a lot of that, and then another small part of it is just me wanting to support other creators when they go live stream, people that I follow and I watch a lot of the time I'll be watching their content when I could be recording my own. And that's not something I feel like I'm going to be able to shake. Like, I'm not going to be like, no, I'm not going to watch you today because I need to record my stuff. It's like, no, I like watching their content. I want to support them. I will watch their content. And then, I mod for Little P. I'm a mod / admin for Prowl, so I feel especially incentivized. I don't know if that's the right word. Especially that I should be in those streams and supporting them. So, and this actually came up in Blue Jay's stream, that he's looking for a mod, and I commented, like, I would love to if I felt like I had the time. Like, because I love Blue Jay. I would love to mod for him, but I feel like I wouldn't be able to give it the attention it needs, and still continue to be able to work on my own stuff. Like, I feel like if I took on any more responsibility with modding Discord or Minecraft servers or anything, I would just never be able to get to my own stuff. As of right now, I can't remember the last time I actually played on one of Prowl's servers. I haven't had the time. So where to go from there, Every day is a struggle, and I've tried to take it one day at a time. So if content's a little slow, this is probably why. But I'm not quitting. I've done that before. I am not quitting. It's just content will get done, and I'll get to it when I'm able to get to it. Unfortunately, it's slow, and it's a lot slower than I want it to be. Hopefully, eventually, it'll pick up a little bit, but life is rough sometimes, and I can't complain. I do not have it anywhere near as rough as many other people. We are comfortable. We make enough money. We're not struggling. A lot of people can't say that. So, like, a lot of the time when I look at that, I feel like me feeling depressed doesn't make sense, because I could be so much worse off. But that's the problem with anxiety and depression, is sometimes it just doesn't make sense. So we started off with a song. I want to end with another song that's also a new song that came out. 3 Days Grace came out with the song called Mayday, and it's also got lyrics that really resonate with my anxiety and my depression. Let's see if I can butcher another rendition, guys. We run like dead people who haven't died yet. We ride like passengers without a pilot. We be losing our minds while we all try to hide it. It's hard to keep fighting when you're barely surviving. Those lyrics really hit me. Like, we run like dead people who haven't died yet. We ride like passengers without a pilot. We be losing our minds while we all try to hide it. It's hard to keep fighting when you're barely surviving. That can mean a whole bunch of different situations to a lot of people. And I think it really works in my situation. Like, it's hard to keep fighting when you feel like you're barely surviving. And you try to, if anyone goes through stuff like this, like I am, and you try to hide it from people, you don't want to show people that you're suffering from depression. Like, I think I do a fairly good job of hiding it in my day-to-day life. I'm not usually comfortable with talking about it either. So the fact that I'm opening up all that here is different for me as well. But they also, that song is not all doom and gloom. It continues later on with some lyrics. And the lyrics later on in the song are along the lines of, they say, "We're going down, but not today. We'll never say mayday." And I think that's strong as well. Like, we know we're going down one day, but today's not that day. And we're not ready to surrender. We're not saying mayday. And I am definitely not ready to surrender. I'm not saying mayday. I'm gonna keep fighting. All right, guys. We'll see how, I gotta edit this all together and cut out some of the dead space and all that fun stuff. Probably throw some background music. I got lucky the last one did not copyright strike me on any of the music that was playing in the background. I didn't want to take the chance this time. So I didn't have any music playing. I'll throw some, like, something in the background of this, probably. I'll probably at least do one more of these, because there is another topic I want to touch on. And we'll see. Maybe if these get some views. This one's probably going to be way too long, but we'll see how much I can cut it down. And maybe I'll continue this here and there as a little vlog series so you guys get a peek behind the curtain. But my name's Aggro. I gotta skate. Later.
Goodbye.